Struggle requires high sacrifice to ensure success, in addition to the belief that victory belongs to every struggle done because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not to mention when the struggle is to defend the religion of God and the dignity and right of Muslims, as in the land of Palestine. They are not only fighting to defend the homeland, but more importantly to defend the land of Muslims and against the Zionist Israel. What's happened today is very disappointing when the Muslims themselves seem to have no strength to fight the Zionists of the enemies of Islam. In fact, there are Islamic countries that are fighting and there is no consensus. Meanwhile, among countries that are united in issuing statements to defend Islam, there is still a dialogue on how to stop the Zionist Israel. It's not because they cannot afford it in terms of material, but the confidence, as stated earlier, is still thin to fight other interests that are thicker. Therefore, we witness the Western world mostly expressing support for the Zionists in Israel, even though many people in Islamic countries came forward to condemn this attitude. It could not change anything. If there is no courage on the part of Muslim countries through organizations or unions that firmly stand up to fight for the right of Muslims, then this situation will not change. Efforts such as boycotting goods produced by pro-Israel countries must be continuously supported. Likewise, diplomatic relations with them also need to be reviewed immediately. Maybe some countries with medium capabilities like Malaysia are not able to face the world's greatest power. However, at least we, together with rich countries such as some Arab countries, came forward to fight pro-Israeli countries in various ways.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا وكنتم على شفا حفرة من النار فأنقذكم منها كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تهتدون.
This verse of the Quran means and hold firmly to the rope of Allah altogether and do not become divided. And remember the favor of Allah upon you when you were enemies and He brought your heart together and you became by His favor brothers. And you were on the edge of a pit of the fire and He saved you from it. Thus Allah made clear to you His verses that you may be guided. On this verse, scholars agree that we humans should not ignore any verse of the Quran and understand every interpretation of the entire verse of the Quran. We are also advised to always adhere to the Quran and let us not only understand it ourselves, but also teach other people who do not know about religion. In addition, this verse also advises us not to divide among ourselves. Only by adhering to the Quran we are able to unite. If we do not adhere to the Quran at all, then the religion will be corrupted, and the people will be divided. For the people to unite, not only by using the hadith, but with the Quran as well, because it invites to the faith of monotheism and the matters of faith where all four sects are the same according to what is written in the Quran. Next, this verse also emphasizes the blessing that Allah has given to the Arabs of Medina who used to fight among themselves. With the grace of the Quran, they became like brothers and sisters. This is an example of how Quran can unite people. When there is monotheism in God, God can unite heart. Lastly, this verse also emphasizes that we should always take care of our Islamic brotherhood. Don't look too much at the differences between us, but look for the things that unite us. Look at people with the eyes of Rahmah, not with the eyes of hatred.
The analyzation for this surah Al-Imran verse 103. From the aspect of Aqli, this verse focuses on the word hablun, that means relationship or a rope that connects a person with others. So it could be said that it is clear that relationship is born from piety, which is taqwa, and Islam, which is the first typo based on a stronghold with the rope of Allah, that is, with His covenant, system, and His religion. Rather, it is not a relationship that born solely in a society based on a different belief or because of a different goal, or a brotherhood based on holding onto a rope other than the many ropes of ignorance. From the aspects of Naqli, we can relate this verse from Surah Al-Imran, verse 103, to Surah Al-Anfal, verse 73, which is mean, and the disbelievers, some of them protect others. If you do not do what God has commanded, which is protecting each other, there will certainly be chaos on earth and great destruction. From the verse, from this verse, we can relate it to the situation in Palestine, where there are being genocide by Zionists, but there are no other country that want to help the Palestinians free from being genocide by the Zionists. The Zionists kill all the people, whether it is a newborn baby, a pregnant woman, or an old Palestinians. They don't even care about whomever they killed to take over the Holy Land and the Muslim land, which is Palestine.
Surah Al-Imran verse 103 is ayat muhkamat. This is because the muhkamat are the ayat that explain the abrogated rulings, the allowed, prohibited, laws, limits, obligations and rulings that should be believed in and implemented. Muhammad bin Ishaq bin Yasar commented on NURUL muhkamatun, which means in it are verses that are entirely clear as containing proof of the Lord, immunity for the servants and a refutation of opponents and of falsehood. They cannot be changed or altered from what they were meant for.
The first teaching, Muslims are required to unite and stick only with the rope of Allah, that is, with Islam. The basis for unity is to stick with Al-Quran and As-Sunnah, and anyone who does not stick firmly to Al-Quran and As-Sunnah will split. It is forbidden to split in terms of human hurt because it will weaken Muslims and remove their strength. It is required to remember the kindness of Allah because the reason people are not grateful and obey Allah is to forget the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The greatest kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give to his servants are the kindness of Islam and the kindness of being united and loving. Only Allah is powerful to unite the herd of people who are divided. And it is impossible for people to unite the herd of people even if all the wealth on the face of the earth is spent. The strongest bond of brotherhood, even stronger than the bond of blood, is the bond of faith that does not famous between types, people's race, or skin color and age. Among the signs of human bad luck in this world and in the afterlife are division and debate that occur among them. All the verses of Allah are clear, and they don't need to be repeated because Allah's verses are guidance for all kinds of people. It is not possible for humans to receive guidance from Allah except through the verses of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ.